from the Faculty of Applied Artificial Intelligence Institute, otherwise known as A2I2, with a thesis titled Empathetic Reinforcement Learning Agents. Would you please welcome Manisha Senadeera?
Although powerful AI systems can be incredibly useful, they can be equally dangerous if we're not careful. Let me tell you a story. A businessman buys a super intelligent AI robot and says to it, "I want you to make for me as many paper clips as you can." The AI starts off steady, using current systems and maximizing output, but soon things get out of hand as the AI amasses unthinkable amounts of paper clips. Concerned, the businessman tries to intervene and shut down the machine, but the AI prevents all attempts. You see, from the start, the AI has put in place safeguards to ensure it can never be terminated. With no means of stopping it, the AI spreads itself across the Earth, engulfing all of life, and soon our poor planet is nothing but a giant pile of paperclips orbiting around the sun. Now, this story might sound a bit far-fetched, but this is a case study often used to highlight concerns with AI safety. It asks the question, how do we design systems that behave in ways we intend them to and ensure they adhere to the values we hold and behave safely? Towards this pursuit, I try to embed an awareness of others into my artificial agents. Now, before we proceed, let's take a step back and think about us, humans. What stops us from behaving single-mindedly in our own pursuits? Well, one crucial factor is our ability to empathize. Empathy influences our behavior because we can imagine how our actions impact those around us. I draw inspiration from empathy and embed it into my artificial agents. Agents who still try to complete the task they've been given, but do so whilst being considerate of those around them. Now, this process involves two key stages. In the first stage, the AI tries to infer what it is that others, say a human, values by observing our behavior. So, for example, it might see us step outside and enjoy time in nature and infers some kind of positive value. It might see us flinch when we feel pain and infers a negative value. It might see an event that leads to a death and infers an extremely negative value. Slowly, the AI builds up what we call a reward function, which represents which events are desirable, those with a positive value, and which events should be avoided, those with a negative value. The AI itself has its own reward function. In our paperclip story earlier, because the AI cared only about paperclips, its reward function may consist only of a positive value for that one event. The second stage is where empathy is evoked. This is done by augmenting the AI's reward function to not just be its own, but to incorporate the human's reward function as well. Using this new empathetic reward function, the businessman in our story earlier can now upgrade his AI. The AI will still attempt the task of producing paperclips, but in a way that will induce far more safe and value-aligned behaviors, and importantly, avoid the destruction of our planet Earth. Thank you.